Have you ever wondered how some people manage to face life's most difficult moments without falling apart? Where does this strength come from that seems so unattainable when chaos strikes? What if I told you that this strength is closer than you think, hidden in the power of stillness? Today I want to share something profound with you. Calm is not just an attitude, it is a real power. It is capable of transforming fear into clarity, confusion into direction, and the most difficult moments into opportunities for learning and growth. Stay with me until the end of this video, because I'm going to show you how to discover this power within yourself, how to apply it in the most challenging situations, and most importantly, how to find a peace that is not dependent on the circumstances around you. Get ready for a new perspective that could change the way you approach life. Think with me. How many times have you sought peace like someone seeking shelter from a storm? Perhaps in those moments you felt that calm was just the stillness of the waves before a new upheaval. But true calm goes beyond that. It's not just the absence of noise or problems. It is a state of complete trust, an invisible force that transforms any situation, no matter how chaotic, into an opportunity for growth. True serenity does not come from what is around you. It comes from within. From a heart that recognizes what is eternal and unchanging, even when everything around you seems to be falling apart. When you connect with this peace, it's like discovering a new horizon in the middle of the desert. Nothing around you changes, but within you there is a new understanding, a firmness that sustains you. This kind of serenity is not something you can achieve through willpower alone. It is the fruit of something greater, an understanding of the universal laws that govern existence. One day I explained how your consciousness shapes reality. When your mind is aligned with love, you create harmony. When it is dominated by fear, you attract more restlessness. So calmness is not just an emotional state, but a reflection of how you see and respond to the world. Imagine you are on a boat on the high seas, facing a storm. Many would scream and lose control. Others, however, would learn to listen to the wind and steer the boat wisely. True serenity is like the captain who understands that the storm is part of the journey and doesn't despair, but keeps a clear vision. It is this presence of mind that transforms fear into courage. And when you discover this strength within yourself, you realize that it not only calms your mind, but also lights the way for others. Your serenity becomes a living testimony that even in the most powerful storms, it is possible to remain anchored in something greater. And it is this strength that leads us to ask, what makes serenity your greatest power in times of challenge? When you think of power, what comes to mind? Perhaps physical strength, intelligence, or even wealth. But calmness is undoubtedly one of the greatest gifts you can develop. Why is that? Because it is in serenity that the greatest transformations take place. While the world around you is in turmoil, those who remain peaceful have the ability to see what others don't, to find solutions where many only find problems. Throughout human history, many have confused power with control, but true power is self-control. Imagine someone facing a crisis. The first impulse is to react with fear or anger, but calmness allows you to choose a different, wiser, more conscious path. Instead of being swept away by the circumstances, you take control of the situation. There's something I explained in the desert. The outside world is a reflection of your inner self. If you are in conflict within yourself, you will inevitably see chaos around you. But if there is peace in your heart, that same peace will be reflected in your words, in your actions, and even in the situations you find yourself in. This is why stillness is so powerful. It gives you the ability to create your reality with balance. Consider a common situation, a conflict at work. Most people get carried away by the tension, say things they later regret, or act impulsively. But those who act calmly have the opportunity not only to solve the problem, but also to inspire those around them. That's power. It's not just about getting through the moment. It's about transforming the environment, bringing clarity and harmony where there was confusion. Serenity is not a weakness. It is an invisible force that gives you access to something greater than yourself. It's like being in a flowing river, but finding a solid rock on which to stand and watch the flow without being swept away. And as you discover this stability, you begin to realize that there is a source for this calm, something beyond external circumstances that calls us to trust even more deeply. Have you ever noticed how fear and anxiety often come from feeling alone in the face of difficulty? It's as if everything depends on you in moments of challenge. But what happens when you surrender your worries to something greater? When you trust the Father who knows your needs even before you ask? True serenity comes from this trust. Trust in the divine is not passivity, but a conscious surrender, like a child who feels safe holding his parent's hand in the middle of a crowd. When I explained the universal laws of existence, I said that the universe does not act randomly. Everything is connected to the source of love, which is perfect and abundant. Knowing this gives you one certainty: you are not alone, and no struggle is greater than the power that dwells within you. Think about a moment of fear that you've experienced. How much of that fear came from trying to control the uncontrollable? Faith in the divine teaches you that not everything depends on you. There are things that must be surrendered to the natural flow of life. This surrender is not an act of surrender, but an act of wisdom, for it allows you to focus on what is within your grasp, while resting in the knowledge that God will take care of the rest. When I said that the kingdom of heaven is within everyone, I meant to show that serenity comes from recognizing this divine presence within us. You don't have to look outside for what is already part of you. This connection with the Father is not distant or inaccessible. It is intimate, immediate, and transforms fear into peace. It's like a beacon that guides you through the darkest of nights. And when you live with this confidence, calm is not just a temporary state. It becomes your foundation, an unshakable foundation. You face challenges with the certainty that everything works for the good of those who trust in love. And it is this certainty that prepares you for the moments when life's storms seem most intense. For when your heart is anchored in peace, the waves don't sink you. They teach you how to navigate. Imagine being in the middle of a storm, feeling the strong winds and the raindrops hitting your face. At such times, it's natural to feel afraid, to want to run away, or even to fight against what seems uncontrollable. But what if you learn to stand firm with a calm heart even in the midst of chaos? Calmness in difficult times is not only possible, it is the greatest gift you can give yourself. In life's most challenging moments, the first reaction is usually worry. The mind is filled with questions. What if it doesn't work? Logically, what if I don't succeed? But the key to maintaining serenity is to remember that the solution doesn't come from despair, but from trust and acting with clarity. As I have taught, the world around you responds to what you cultivate within yourself. When your response to adversity is calm, you make room for the Father to work in your life. Staying calm doesn't mean ignoring problems, but choosing the best way to deal with them. Instead of reacting impulsively, take a moment to breathe, calm your mind, and remember that every challenge is an opportunity for growth. It's like a farmer facing a drought. He can't make the rain fall, but he can cultivate the soil and prepare his seeds for the right time. A powerful tool in these moments is inner stillness. Often the noise of the world tries to take us away from that stillness, filling our minds with worry and doubt. But silence, that moment when you withdraw into prayer or reflection, is where strength is reborn. It is in silence that you hear the voice of the Father saying, "I am with you." This certainty gives you the courage to go on. When you find this place of peace, you discover that the storm, however intense, is not permanent. And as you go through it, you realize that you have grown, that you have become stronger. Calm is not only a refuge, it's also a lesson. It teaches you to look forward to what comes after the storm with renewed confidence. For every difficulty we overcome prepares us to live with greater faith and abundance. Have you ever noticed how hard it is to find clarity in the noise of the world? What many people don't realize is that while the outside voices are shouting, the true power lies in the inner silence. This silence is not empty. It is full of presence, full of connection to something greater. It is there that you find the strength you so desperately seek. When difficulties arise, the tendency is to run for immediate answers, to look outward for a solution to inner discomfort. But what I've always wanted to show is that the answers are not out there. They are born within, in that place where your soul meets the divine. It is from this place of stillness that serenity, wisdom, and peace come. Inner silence does not mean the absence of thoughts, but a conscious choice not to be dominated by them. Imagine that your mind is like a lake. When the water is choppy, you can't see the bottom. But if you allow everything to calm down, the surface becomes clear and you can see the truth that was hidden. That's what stillness does. It reveals. A simple but powerful practice is to set aside a moment in your day to disconnect from distractions. It could be early in the morning, before your responsibilities begin, or in the evening, when the world seems to slow down. Close your eyes, breathe, and simply be present. You'll find that the thoughts may seem like a whirlwind at first, but over time they lose their power and give way to a deep peace. As you make inner silence a constant practice, you will find that it not only gives you strength, but also direction. It becomes a guide that helps you discern what really matters and how to act in situations. And as you live this way, you discover that this inner peace is not a distant goal, but something that can be accessed at any time, transforming the way you face daily challenges. How often have you found yourself reacting to something in the heat of the moment, only to realize later that you could have acted differently? This is the influence of the ego, which is always trying to defend, to prove, to win. It reacts quickly, but almost never wisely. But there is an alternative: calmness. It not only disarms the ego, but also reveals a much more enlightened way of dealing with situations. The ego is essentially the part of you that wants to control everything, that needs to be acknowledged, and that is afraid of losing. It creates a sense of separation, as if you are alone in the world, fighting against everyone else. But calm is living proof that you are not separate, that there is a greater power that you can trust. When you choose to respond with serenity, it's like saying to the ego, "I don't need to respond. I trust what is eternal." Think of an argument. The ego always wants to have the last word, to show that it's right. But what happens if you choose silence and patience? Instead of fueling the conflict, you resolve it. That's not weakness, that's wisdom. You realize that not every battle needs to be fought, and that often the greatest act of strength is not to react. Calmness also helps you see beyond the illusions that the ego creates. When you're not overwhelmed by impulses, you can see situations more clearly. Instead of seeing an affront or a threat, you see a learning opportunity. For example, that difficult coworker can become a chance to practice patience and compassion, rather than a source of irritation. And over time, every time you choose calm over giving in to your ego, something changes within you. It's as if a new power begins to grow, a power that doesn't need to be proven because it's already complete. And with that, life takes on a different, lighter, more harmonious quality. For it is in the silence of the ego that the heart finds space to listen to what really matters. Relationships are undoubtedly one of the most challenging and enriching parts of life. It is in connecting with others that we are often tested in our patience, compassion, and humility. When stillness becomes a part of who you are, it not only changes you, it changes the way you relate to the world around you. How often have small disagreements become major conflicts? This happens because when faced with tension, the ego wants to defend, justify, or attack. But stillness acts as a bridge, connecting the parties rather than separating them. When you choose not to react impulsively, you make room for understanding to emerge, and that can disarm even the most hardened hearts. Serenity allows you to truly listen to the other person, without judgment or a rush to respond. Imagine an argument at home, where words usually fly like arrows, causing hurt feelings. But if you choose to listen calmly, you not only hear the words, but also perceive the emotions behind them. This changes the dynamic and opens space for dialogue and reconciliation. What's more, calmness is contagious. When you act calmly, even in difficult situations, you inspire others to do the same. It's like being a lighted candle in a dark environment. Your light illuminates your surroundings, bringing comfort and hope. This calm presence conveys security and makes people trust you more because they know they can count on your equilibrium. Over time, you will find that relationships based on impulsive reactions give way to deeper, more genuine bonds. Those around you won't just see your actions, they'll feel the peace you carry. This peace becomes an invitation for them to seek the same harmony. And so your relationships stop being a battleground and become spaces of mutual growth where love and respect flourish. Have you ever noticed how the body reflects what the mind carries? When fear or stress takes over, the heart races, the muscles contract, and breathing becomes short. It's as if the body is fighting to survive, even when there is no real danger. Calm, on the other hand, not only calms the mind but also restores balance to the body, bringing health and well-being. Modern science confirms what I have long taught. Thoughts and emotions have a direct effect on the body. When you live in constant tension, your body releases hormones such as cortisol, which in excess weakens the immune system, raises blood pressure, and interferes with the general functioning of the body. Calm, on the other hand, is a natural antidote that reduces these effects and helps the body recover and grow stronger. Inner peace and serenity also have a positive effect on the mind. A calm mind is able to make better decisions, think clearly, and even find creative solutions to problems that previously seemed insurmountable. The peace that comes from calmness allows you to face challenges without being overwhelmed by fear or doubt, which greatly reduces the feeling of mental exhaustion. In addition, practicing calmness contributes to healthier habits. When you're in harmony, it's easier to take care of yourself, whether it's choosing foods that nourish your body, exercising, or taking time to rest. A balanced life comes from this connection between physical, mental, and spiritual well-being, which begins with the decision to live more calmly. Calmness is not just a state of mind, it is a gift you give to your body and soul. It helps you live more fully, appreciating each moment without the rush that drains your energy. When you find this balance, you realize that health and well-being are not just in what you do, but in how you choose to live and respond to life. It is in this state that you discover true vitality, that which comes from within. Although it may seem distant to many, serenity can be cultivated on a daily basis. You don't have to wait for great moments of trial to begin practicing it. Small, simple, and consistent steps have the power to transform your mind, body, and spirit. Serenity is not a gift reserved for the few. It is available to anyone who wants to build a state of inner peace. One of the first steps is to take a few minutes out of your day to reconnect with yourself. Choose a quiet place, close your eyes, and focus on your breathing. Don't try to force anything, just notice the natural rhythm of air coming in and out. This simple exercise helps you slow down and become aware of the present moment, where stillness truly lives. Another powerful habit is to observe your responses to adversity. When something challenging happens, instead of reacting immediately, pause. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, what is this situation really asking of me? Often the answer will not be impulsiveness, but patience and wisdom. This little pause can completely change the way you approach challenges. Practicing gratitude is also a way to bring more serenity into your life. Before you go to sleep, think of 3 things you are grateful for in the past day. It could be something as simple as a smile or a moment of peace. Gratitude shifts your attention from what is lacking to what is abundant, creating an inner atmosphere of peace and contentment. Finally, choose moments to spread this calm around you. Say a kind word to someone, listen attentively without interrupting, or simply offer a smile. When you share the peace you cultivate, it grows in you and in others. Small gestures have a profound effect, not only on those who receive them, but also on those who practice them. Peace is not something you find all at once. It is built with each conscious choice you make. Each deep breath, each moment of pausing, each act of gratitude are bricks that build a solid foundation for a more fulfilling life. And as you progress, you realize that stillness not only transforms you, but also illuminates everything around you. True strength lies not in weathering storms, but in walking through them with a peaceful heart. The stillness that is born within you is living proof that something greater sustains your every step, even in the most difficult moments. It's a power that cannot be shaken, a light that cannot be extinguished, because it does not depend on what is around you. It comes from a deep connection with the divine. Remember, stillness is not a refuge, but a silent weapon against fear, chaos, and ego. It is what lifts you up, what turns difficulty into growth, and what allows you to be a peaceful presence in a world full of turmoil. So choose serenity. Choose trust. Choose to live from the power that dwells within you and that nothing can destroy. And in doing so, not only will you transform your life, but you will become a light to all those around you. May your path be illuminated, and may you discover the peace that dwells within you.